This will continue to happen.
Hold on, bro. You're not listening. You're not even listening. You're not listening. You're not listening. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because no matter what it is that you do, the wages are not going at the same pace as inflation. I don't see how we're missing that. Like, you gotta have some type of knowledge about economics before you start talking
you can do it under the wages right now.
No, you can't get higher. The wages are not going up. Healthcare is being stripped, which is one of the most expensive. What?
Darwin,
it does, and it will. They're not trying to give people the power back.
To keep up with inflation.
People are not getting the power back.
This is an excuse a lot of black men are making to absorb themselves from being providers and piggybacking on feminism to exploit you to work.
Yeah, here we go.
What Darwin is saying sounds amazing on its face, right?
Oh, it just sounds like it ain't amazing. It's normal, bro.
It sounds amazing on its face of, yo, if you can't take care of your family by yourself on your salary, don't have a family yet. It sounds amazing. Any woman would love to hear that, right? But it's okay to build together. It's okay to start your family and it not be perfect.
But the problem is, and what I agree is that if a man is not ready, he's not financial literate, he hasn't, he's young-minded, right? Then he has a kid. What I've seen so many times is that, come on, man, you already knew where I was when you decided to lay down with me, had this baby. You already knew that I ain't have everything together. And then now we're in a bigger issue. So I think it makes a lot of sense to be.
Just give me an example of what you were saying of that man in that mind state. So I want to define what you're talking about.
To support financially, like the baby needs this, baby needs that. Well, I'm still trying to figure it out myself.
So you're saying that he don't have money to buy Pampers?
I'm saying that could be one aspect of it. It could.
That's different.
It might not just be. What's that?
That's different. I wasn't talking about like him being like dead broke.
Yeah, but that's what happens. That's just like a small portion. But that's just what happens when
I
thought what I took is building yourself up to you get to a place so this way you can have a family. You're able to provide for your family as opposed to just laying down having these kids and nobody is financially set. Nobody, understands the work that it takes to have a sustainable family.
Jay, that ain't what that nigga said. All right. What he said was you need to be able to take care of all that family by yourself on one salary.
You can.
No,
how much you think you need to take care of a family?
No, I think that's a great thing to reach to want to where place to want to be at. But you said if he can't take care of that family on that one salary, then he don't have a family yet.
Yeah,
I think families are extremely important, right? I think
that doesn't make them not important just because you're you're being financially illiterate.
But you know how many people wait for the perfect moment to do everything to do?
Not a lot, but it doesn't matter if most people are walking in the wrong direction. Doesn't mean that you got to follow behind them.
Isn't that what you're saying, Darwin, is for a woman to wait till the man gets to the end of the finish line and then
it ain't even got to be necessarily the finish line.
What we've been hearing is that women wait for the man to get in their financial stride, like what you said, and then want to get with them, right?
A woman should not be popping no babies out unless he can pay for the bills.
But
unless
then they don't
take care of the kids.
Necessarily go through the struggle with them or anything like that. So you see the confusion between one saying you can build, like Mott was saying, is okay to build with the man, and and I'm gonna say the right man because
I think that's stupid.
They were saying if you can't even buy diapers, you shouldn't even be dating, right? Like you really, but what you're saying is don't even think about having kids or anything like that until the man is in a position where he can take care of you and the family on his own.
Right. You shouldn't start making a family until he can take care of. He can pay all the bills on his salary.
Mm-hmm. So, and I think that the key part is being misunderstood is that Darwin's saying it's okay to build a relationship and a marriage together, both of y'all working. But when you start talking about building a family together, you cannot start that off with it got to be a different mindset.
I think
can we confirm that with Darwin first? Are you saying that I can have a woman and I can have a wife and we can both be working, but once we have kids, I need to be able to take care of the family.
She need to be taking care of those kids. You should be working and taking care of the household. She should be taking care of the kids. You should be working and taking care of the bills, and she should be running the household, taking care of the kids.
I think to have a kid.
Hold on, let me say one more thing, Willie. The other caveat to that, this is just my personal belief. I know that it's okay for most men to get into marriage and they both work. But when you start having the kids, that dynamic need to change, obviously. But me personally, I don't want my woman calling another man her boss. I don't want my woman working for a boss that pays her, because essentially she submits to him. For example, if I call my wife and I say, hey, I need you to come home, she's not gonna tell her boss, hey, I gotta go because my husband called me. She gonna go ask her boss, can she come? And then she gonna let me know whether she can come home. Now, if we flip it and her boss called her and said, hey, I need you to get your ass to work, she's not gonna say, I gotta ask my husband. She gonna say, hey, buddy, I gotta go. That's who she submit to. So for me personally, that's not gonna work for me. I'm not saying it's not gonna work for y'all, but for me, I think a woman's place is to work for her husband if she gonna work at all. Mm-hmm. Because we have so many people outsourcing our wives for their last name, their generational wealth, and not our own. Black people do it too much. We send our wives over there to work for the white tea people, the Asian people. Nobody's working for the last name of the black man. Our wives are working for other people's households. And it's a I'm not gonna say it's a slave mentality, but it's a whole systemic issue that we have never had a grasp of because we don't practice economics.
Do you think that like birth rates are important at all?
Yeah, I think birth rates are important.
A civilization has to have a birth rate of 2.1 in order to survive. So
I think it's important.
Do you think that what you're prescribing would be detrimental to birth rates?
No.
Well, I think actually, Darwin, I think what you're saying is still a family independent mindset, like what you're saying, what other people are doing, like when I know Indians specifically, like are big on this, Hispanic are big on, is that we have lost the community in raising family. So when I had my son, right, I'm not going to say it was easy. It's not easy raising kids, but I think I had it easier than many because I had a community. I had my mom. I had my mother-in-law. I had my sisters. You know what I'm saying? I had my bestie and her mom. So we've moved away from having a community raising children together, as opposed to just saying it's only just the nuclear family responsibility. So it's either just only going to fall on you or only fall on me, and that's it. But when we move back into the direction of having a community, everybody contributes. Like I was a primary caretaker of my child, but there was a period where my mom had to drop me off at the bus stop so I can get to school on a bus because I didn't drive yet, and so in that process, she would drop my son off at daycare, and then we would drive and drop me off at the bus stop, and then I would get my son on the way back. So when you have other people, like when you look at, like I said, Indians, Hispanic, Africans, like they all have a community for the most part.
Right.
So I think
when you said something,
you can have children.
You asked how much does it cost to have a child? It's the base income, and a child adds $12,000 to what your spend is going to be. So if you have 4 kids, that's an additional $48,000 you need to have in order to have that family live at the average lifestyle. I don't disagree with you that
based on location.
Well, no, that mean the average. So the thing is, Darwin, like it's not about based on location at all, because the average income in America for a man is $52,000 a year. A black man is $52,000 a year. The average cost of a child in America is $12,000 a year. That's the average of all places. So
I understand that. But the average is not broken down to just pure necessities.
Well, the thing is,
also got internet in there, tablets.
The thing is, it is broken down to necessities. That's not including things like them playing sports, them wanting anything like. It is the necessities. That's exactly what it is.
The average income includes internet, all that other shit.
Those are necessities now. Well, internet is a basic human need in 2026.
Also, they compensate for the fact that a wife had a vehicle and the husband had a vehicle. Did it not?
No, not when it says that the average income is $52,000. No, that's not what they're talking about.
Working, and they
because
got
the average income is not a married couple, Darwin. It's for one person. The average man. It's not saying
I would
that
just like to see it done because I went over it before and we got different numbers. But I will say this.
Hold on, wait. Before you finish saying what you're saying, I'm gonna finish my point. The point is this: that yes, a man should be able to pay for all the bills because the best place for a child to be is with the mother. Like that, there's no argument against that. A lot of you career-minded, masculine women hate that, but unfortunately, that's what you're here for. That was your point for existing, is to be a nurturer and raise children. Like aside from that helpmate shit, I'm gonna stay out of the Bible. So if a man cannot put his woman, and not just his woman, but his child in the best position, he should not create one. Because now you're having kids, you're going to struggle the same way you did. Darwin has, like, y'all think Darwin's extreme. I think that you should have to get a credit check before you even have sex. Like, I don't think that broke niggas should be out here fucking because then they keep creating all these badass kids. They end up getting left with their mothers. So you think he's extreme? I'm worse. But to his point, I wouldn't want my daughter dating someone that is older than them that also needs help with bills. If she's dating a high school sweetheart, the nigga she met in college, the same age, and they decide to build together, that's cool. However, if my daughter's like the typical woman and wants to date someone 4 to 6 years older than her, that's more established, that is also have done things, I'm going to expect him to be able to take care of her because he's had a 4 or 6 year head start on her. So they can't. I would not expect him to be in the same place financially that my daughter is.
I said, what if they meet in school?
I gave you that example first.
Well, I mean, like as adults.
I gave you that example first. If they're in school together, they're on the same playing field. Okay. They're equal.
Yeah, but what I wanted to say is we're seeing single moms with five different babies, sometimes 5 different baby daddies with 5 kids. For some reason, she able to take care of the whole household.
She gets.
We can't get one man and one woman and a child.
Those women get to take care of those children.
I'm just saying though. What?
No, there's a substantial difference.
No, if she try to say government assistance is not going to exceed 50,000.
So, but
you got food stamps, you have free schooling, you have
it's not going to exceed 50,000 in total.
Yes, it is. How much do you think rent is when you can go pick your house where you want to rent, which is your biggest expense? Hold on, your biggest expense is rent, and it's pretty much subsidized to oblivion. Like you're paying peanuts at that point. That is major. When you're talking about food, which is another major expense, I spend about $400 a week on food, right? So guess what? That expense is taken care of. That is,
I didn't say the expense wasn't taken care of. I'm saying there's a cap on how much government assistance you can get. And once you exceed it, they're going to cut you off and send you to work.
Not to mention, time out, hold on, I wasn't done yet because there's utility assistance. How many times you hear the advertisements for your electric bill, your gas bill to be paid? There's assistance. There's a whole bunch of things that
I'm not saying it's not
daycare subsidized. You know how many things that they can do. It can't be compared.
We're not arguing, bro. I'm not disagreeing.
Hold on, I wasn't done. All I'm saying is that you got under 17% of men who are actually able to provide and have the sole income of a family. When you break the numbers down, it sounds crazy to suggest that should be the norm. It won't be the norm. The powers that be have erased that, right? It's not happening again. But even if, well, you said that's where you believe they should be, right? Regardless of what I'm saying is that we can't even talk about that because the overwhelming majority of people won't be able to do that ever. It's never going to happen again. We're never going to see a situation where,
bro. That's the problem. We can do it. We don't practice financial literacy.
Okay, you see,
there is no way
what it is.
This will continue to happen.
Hold on, bro. You're not listening. You're not listening. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because no matter what it is that you do, the wages are not going at the same pace as inflation. I don't see how we're missing that. Like you got to have some type of knowledge about economics before you start talking
you can
crazy
do
numbers
it under the wages right now.
No, you can't get higher. The wages are not going up. Healthcare is being stripped, which is one of the most expensive. What? Darwin, it does, and it will. They're not trying to give people the power back.
To keep up with inflation.
People are not getting the power back.
Ladies, this is an excuse a lot of black men are making to absorb themselves from being providers and piggybacking on feminism to exploit you to work.
Yeah, here we go.
It can't happen. You don't have financial literacy.
The problem is, I always refer to the bell curve because it's always existed and always will. There's always going to be most people who are going to be average. I don't care what you say. It never deviated. If you want to lie and say it does, go ahead. But it never deviated.
I'm not lying and saying nothing.
Well, guess what? The average is unacceptable anymore. The average is not going to.
How about we have a conversation with each other, Trev, instead of lecturing each other so we can understand where we're missing the point at?
How are we lecturing? I'm just
because you're not talking to me. You're talking past me.
Let me ask you a question, Trev. Let me catch it. You did say that the assistance doesn't surpass $50,000, and that's just categorically untrue.
That's a lie.
My average. I'm not going to just tell you that you're wrong. I'm going to explain how you're wrong.
I don't mind conceding if I'm wrong.
Just understand. I'm explaining to you why you're wrong. I'm not giving you excuses because him explaining a situation is not excusing it. He's not absolving anybody responsibility. That would be an excuse. He's explaining how.
Okay, so how much government assistance on average can a person get? It's super simple. I'll
use my personal because this is something that I deal with expertly. The average person who lives in one of my Section 8 homes is getting $28,000 a year in subsidized living. Do you know how much they get in daycare? Another $20,000. That's $48,000 right there. And then you take these people that get on average $800 to $900 in grocery assistance. Not to include the cash assistance they get. They're close to $60,000 to $65,000. They're so far past 50, it's unreal.
You didn't even get the health insurance.
The more kids they have, that number goes up because now they need a bigger place.
Okay.
More groceries. Their internet is subsidized. Their water is free. Their gas is subsidized. Their electricity is subsidized. Cable is free. So the only place, the easiest part of your argument to dismantle that you lose is when you said that wages do not need to keep up with inflation.
Everything I didn't say that. After that is incorrect. Wages didn't need to keep up. That wasn't my words.
No, that's what you said exactly was. You literally said that wages did not need to keep up with inflation. He said wages don't keep up with inflation.
I didn't say anything about inflation.
He did.
I didn't mention the word inflation.
No, he did, and you said they didn't need to.
I said the wages right now, the way they exist, men can come into society and be a provider. That's the argument I'm making.
By saying that, you already lose because they can't do that.
I'm saying they can, and I'm trying to have a conversation back and forth instead of talking past each other with points.
I'm giving you numbers.
That's why I said let me ask him a question. We could start at 18 or 19. We can ask a question and go back and forth to figure out where they're dropping the ball financially, because I think it's a matter of financial decision making. I think simple. As a 19-year-old coming out of high school, even if you don't have college, you have the option of going to trade. I'm not going to even say trade school. I'm gonna just say the military. I fundamentally believe as early in the military career, the amount of benefits you got is so massive. You can start a family early in your career.
Right.
So that's one option. That just knocks it out of the park.
Put the dollars down on the benefits though, Darwin.
What?
Because men don't get those benefits outside of going to the military. Women do.
Then. So then they go in the military. If they don't have college scholarship that's gonna usher them into a career, a profession, then they should go to the military. If they don't have an inheritance that's going to usher them into work to where they can start working and getting credentials, then they should go into military. Look, I think black men are making an excuse and they're saying that, the military ain't for everybody. Bullshit.
So Darwin, what was your question?
This is easy to put to bed, Trev. Darwin, you can't say the military is for everybody when everybody doesn't believe in the judicial. They don't even believe in the president. They don't believe in being American. They don't they don't care about those things. The military is absolutely not for everybody.
If we base it on beliefs, a man can say, I don't believe that women should stay at home. We can put this whole argument in the bed. If it's about beliefs, I'm just simply saying you can do it. But if you add the nuance of belief, we can say we believe in it. I don't even believe I should be in the family.
You got to let us do. Stop interrupting me when I'm talking. I'm going to let you get your point off. But if you're talking about going to the military, then you have to, you've been in the military, you know what it takes to be successful in the military. That is not in everybody, because if it was, everybody would be doing it.
I don't care what's in everybody.
It takes a lot to go into the military and be successful. It takes a lot to go into the military and not just survive, thrive. So, and then you're talking about the benefits these people get. If you put the benefits that the military gives a 19-year-old boy as compared to what they give a 19-year-old single mother, that single mother still gets more.
Look, I don't care what's in everybody. When I look at black people and in black
we're talking about black people, so that's what you care about, right?
I don't care if it's not in you. The military would put it in you if that's a route. It don't have to already be you don't have to be already predisposed to be able to do it. You just need to be able to try and do it. I'm saying black men are not fucking trying at all.
They're not trying.
We're giving them an excuse saying, hey, look, it's not for everybody. So go just do what everybody else is doing and just keep doing the bullshit. I'm saying that we don't have to do that.
Darwin,